Hey there, this is K4A, Knowledge for All educational videos and tutorials. In this video today we are going to learn how and when you can use GameMaker GML visual drag and drop block, which is called default. So in previous videos we have learned how to use switch and case, and today we are going to use this default which says default switch case for when no other cases match, and that's what it does. Simple as that. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cases. We have some code, simple code in it to change the scale, the size of the instance of the object on the screen. But what happens if my coin value is not 1, it's not 2, it's not 3, it's not 4, it's not 5? What happens then? Then you can put default case in terms of if you, for example, have a very complex or very lots of different results or lots of different possibilities, and you cannot or don't want to cover all of them. For example, I could use coin value. I have defined it here with my range. I set GameMaker to create my coin value between 1 to 10. I could use 100, I could use 1000, 100,000, 1 million, billion, trillion, whatever. So for example, sometimes you can do that for some reason, I don't know, enemies or procedural generation or whatever, and you want cases to be covered for some of those but not all of those, because you have too many of them or just don't want to define all of those. So what you do then, you just say, okay, default value for my default when any of those cases is not true, so no other cases match, so it's not 1, it's not 2, 3, 4 or 5. In any other case, use this code. This is default code. The problem here, I will delete it just to show you, is, for example, this is not the best example to show here, because by default, when I created obj coin var, default size by GameMaker is 100%. So later when I added code and said, okay, for the value of 1 it will be 10%, for the value of 2 it will be 20, and so on until 5 or 50%, that will work for values 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. But for all of the others, the GameMaker by default, because it has default size of 10, sorry, of 100%, it will be full size 1 or 100% for all the values other than 5, which means 6, 7, 8 and so on. You can see that on the screen. 7 is already at 100%, 10 is already at 100%, and 6 is already as 100%, which is great to see here, but not the very best example. That's what I'm trying to say for this code. So by default, GameMaker creates your object instance in 100%, and that is why those coins are that. So I don't even have to add default here and say, okay, for default I want my instance scale to be 100%, because we have seen that that is already working without that. So I can say that, but it doesn't make sense because that is already by default. Maybe I could add something else, for example, maybe change the color of it or something like that. So for some reason my game designer says, okay, I want my default coin to be the color of, I don't know, some red color. So let's see. So just to make it easier, I hope to understand, but again, this is not very best example. I will maybe recreate this video later. Anyway, for all the coin values, which is my switch here, greater than 5, because we have 5 cases, case 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. Yeah. For all of them, default means any other. Default means default switch case for when no other cases match. So when it's not 1, when it's not 2, when it's not 3, when it's not 4, when it's not 5, and that means when it's 6, when it's 7, when it's 8, when it's 9, when it's 10, do what? Do this. I have used this, change the color, but again, yeah, you can see here nice. So 5 here on my top is yellow, but 8, 10, and so on, those are default, meaning they are not matching this case 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 6 or more. For 6 or more, give me different color. Simple as that. Again, this is, for example, much more better to show or more on more complex examples like state machine. For example, when you have player in different states, for default value, for default state, it would be, for example, some idle animation, idle state, and case 1 could be player moving, case 2 player shooting, case 3 player jumping, player flying, player dying, and so on, but default would be player idle. But this works too for this example too, although again it's a little bit it doesn't make logic for me, at least, to have default state of red, but yeah, that's the idea. That's it for this video. Again, these group of blocks, switch, and those case and default blocks combined with switch, they are very complex and a very useful tool. You're going to see them from time to time, and I think we will see them in some of the GameMaker tutorials and templates which we have started explaining on my channel, but they are given from GameMaker company, yeah, so, like that tower defense template, platformer template, and so on. So if we find some of those, I will emphasize that to your attention. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching. See you in next one. Bye for now.